Hi guys, my name is Victor. Welcome back to Pep Chat Show, and I have here with me. Please introduce yourself.
I am Damilola Edet.
All right, Miss Damilola Edet. Today's topic is going to be how to survive through school independently. So, and I've had some conversation with you, and you've made mention of things like this, how you go through university, sponsoring yourself. So I feel like you're the right person to meet to have this kind of discussion with. So, first of all, how was it like trying to get admission?
Well, it was pretty okay. Basically, I was determined to go to school. So no matter how rough or easy it was, at least I scaled through. So I met with the requirement and had some connections as well in terms of the admission.
What are these connections talking about?
That's the beauty of relationship with people.
Okay.
So I didn't have the connection myself, but I knew few persons, probably at a very low level, who knew someone at a higher level, and the person at a higher level knows another person. So with that, and at least my JAMB score and other requirements were met, so it was easier.
Okay, so that's for the
admission.
For admission. So now, getting into school, all this, you pay acceptance fee, you pay this and that, school fees, and I know that during the first year you have to pay your school fees in full. Yeah, so for money stuff, how were you able to gather up yourself, to meet up those payments?
Okay, this will be very plain and honest. When I heard about the admission, when I applied for the admission, I went back home and I was working.
Okay.
So while working, I was saving, and when the admission came, one of the things that we lack, I think this generation lack, is the fact that we want someone to do everything for us.
Yeah.
But most times when you have something, that's when people can be able to assist in one or two ways. Although I didn't plan my life depending on anyone to assist me with payment of this and that, but I was working and I was saving, and prior to that time I just knew I would go to school. So it was a bit difficult. I was not opportune to pay up my school fees in my 100 level the first semester. But I paid that acceptance fee. So but I got the money for my school fees actually in 100 level second semester.
Okay.
So I had a little rough edges at that period.
Yeah,
so I didn't write the exams actually.
That's for the first semester.
Yeah, the first semester 100 level, I didn't write the exams. So but I paid it later. My own money plus others support as well.
Yeah.
I didn't depend on many people, but I know that I wrote down the names of people I know this one can give me 2,000 here and there, and reached out to them. So those that responded, fine, and those that did not respond. But I also had my own personal backup.
No, that's a great one. So the setting is trying to go for JAMB, and while waiting for the admission, you went to work to gather up some money. So that's for the coming admission. So you'll be able to pay up.
Yeah.
So that's a nice one. So now, that's for the first level, because I think you studied law, which is 5 years course. So that's 5 level. That's 100 level, 200 level to 500 level. So during 200 level, more will still be like needed for you to pay for. So how are you able to meet up? Is it that you're working while being in school, or you left school to go for work for some time, then come back to pay your stuffs and so how did you go about that?
Well, I do not have any major source of income, but one thing that I have is that I have a good relationship with people. So not irrespective of either they have it or not, I just have a good relationship with 200 level. I was able to get some money. Personally, I wasn't a lavish spender. In terms of personal care, I was working, not a very big job because I was a student. Nonetheless, and in 200 level second semester, I remembered exam was approaching, and my class governor then asked me that, how far have you paid your school fees? I said no. So I think my case is just a case of grace and mercy. And they decided in the class that they are going to get a placard for me to go from one class to another to ask students for money and all. So the connections I have with my classmates, just on a platonic level, they went out for me.
Wow.
And we were able to gather a little money because students will just give you 100 naira and that. But we got to a particular class that there was a lecturer in the hall, and they took excuse from the lecturer, and the lecturer asked that who is the student in it. They showed. I saw the woman, and she was, fortunately or fortunately, anyone, she was my church member.
Wow.
She was like, I knew her from church, so she was like, oh, let's quickly settle this, don't worry, I'll balance it up for her. And that was how I paid that, basically.
That's actually, I don't know, it's a thing of grace truly.
Yeah.
Because it's but at the same time, I was thinking that I saw a lot of movements in this thing. Like, if it is something that, okay, you feel like you could not pay this thing and you're just down, you're just feeling sad, and you're just in a place and you're not making any movement at all, it would have been a let me say downfall, because if you didn't move, I'm not sure you'll be able to meet that person.
Yeah, I think it's one of the major issue we are having in Nigeria now.
We don't want to just want
yeah,
to
we just want to, yeah. And one thing about me is that I put away pride. So I'm not the kind of person that asks for people for help from people every time, but when it's something that I know this thing, it's very important, I take a step. I'm not lazy with I do things immediately. So most of us we just wallow in self-pity and we throw a pity party, and it's there's no solution from that. Rather, we even cause more injury to our health and also to people around. So I was just determined that I want to go to school. I was dogged. I just knew that. Now, as much as I was having all this challenge, sometimes to pay the school fees will be very difficult and there will not be anybody to help. That did not also stop me from reading. Fine, there were many times that I feel so discouraged, or I felt so discouraged to read, but I just knew that I just have to read. If I fail, it will be a shame. People don't want to hear about my failure when I'm already a failed person. So it will be sweeter. It will be sweeter to tell people your story when you've attained success.
Yeah.
So that's just it. I was just dogged that this school I must go through.
Wow, that's a very, very fantastic one. So now there's this person that asked one of those questions. There's this particular person, and I'm not going to mention it, but the person was like, although some of them might be able to raise some funds and all, but there will be some time that they have no choice than to just gather help from people, which is true. So they're not like there will be some case that they have to go through or do some certain things that is not legal because they want to
survive,
send themselves to school, survive the whole stuff. Like is it advisable from you, like if they get opportunity to do any legal stuff to get any support, is it advisable for them to do it?
I feel Nigeria is full of opportunities, and most times we run ahead of God. We don't put God first in everything we do, and once you put God behind, the person is doomed for failure. So immediately you start having the thought of doing something illegal, just know that you are no longer running to becoming something better, but you are heading towards a place of failure. So there are many legal opportunities. They are not so, sometimes the things that you feel like you can't do, that is where there might be money and opportunity for you in there. So now, are you talking about the place of school fees or the place of taking care of yourself?
Both, like it's two together. Trying to survive and trying to make payment for school stuff.
Let me digress a bit into the place of taking care of yourself.
Okay.
Now, the place of school fees, I know sometimes you may need help and sometimes you may need to work. But in place of taking care of yourself, I don't, from 100 level, I don't meet people for small help, that things that I can do myself. In my 100 level, I remember very well, I go to the market, the popular market in my school environment to sell pure water. Pure water was 17 naira per bag then for cold one, and I will sell 13 naira, and at the end of the day I will have my gain on it. Now I was doing that job in a more civilized way. Let me put it that way. I was neatly dressed and I carry my water around. I sell to people. Sometimes I see my classmates and they will just like, Dami, Alpha. Some of them will turn back to say, Dami, take this 200, 500. I was doing it without shame because I know I'm surviving. I'm living without begging from anyone. Till the extent that as I was selling the pure water, later on, a market woman advised me that why don't you be selling Bako bag and poly bag? People will be buying these things. And when I included it, I was selling and I was making my gain. At the end of the day, all the stress I've gone through for that time, that period, I'll get something, I'll get food to eat. Life is a bit better for me than depending on others. So when there are bigger problems to solve, like school fees that requires big amounts, I can confidently ask people around me, because I know on a norm they know that I don't ask them for money regularly. So when I now ask them for that,
they will have it in mind
to do it, and they are saying that it's for a better cause. So I believe there's nobody that is left alone in the world. We have people, at least in our different sphere. So but we sometimes overburden them with things we shouldn't ask them of. And even if you don't have anyone, if you have the determination to be a good person, to strive to go to school, and you have God, the essence of God is that it will give you the inspiration of what to do,
how to
go about it. So, and who to meet. Let me share an encounter with you. I think in my 300 level first semester, I can't remember, I went for a morning cry, and the Spirit of God told me that there's someone who is battling with school fees issues, that he will drop the name of someone in the heart of that person, that the person should reach out to the person for financial help concerning that school fees. So I gave out the word of knowledge and went back to my hostel. And as I knelt down praying, I still remember God told me that message is for me.
Wow.
So, and he gave me the name of the person to reach out to. Now, this person he gave me the name of is someone that I know that he is very stingy. He won't give me that money, and I know he's not even financially buoyant to provide that money for me. But I reached out to him in faith. God asked me to call, but I sent him SMS because I was scared of even asking. I was thinking I would get a total rejection.
Yeah, in that kind of person's voice.
Yeah, and gracefully he reached out to me and said, oh Dami, really, you are in such a this. The first question he asked me is that, how much do you have? Probably if I have told him I don't have any amount, I don't think he would have want to help me. I do not have big amounts. I can't remember then, but I think I have about 20,000 or so. So I told him I had that. My school fees was about 100 plus. And he just told me that by this also time that God told him this morning while he was praying that there is someone he will need to help. And before the week runs out, he sent me the money.
Wow.
So that's the place of God. And after that, the man never cared again. Neither did.
But he has done
that part. So there is a place of God. You cannot run without God in this race of life. You will stumble, even if you are the best runner.
Wow, that's a great one. So you stay with God, and God is going to show you direction how you're going to go about it. Wow, that is a nice one. So the thing is, at the end of this step chart, the results matters. Yeah, because after all this struggle and all, what is it going to become for that person? So I tell you right now that this person that you are listening to right now, she's done with her uni and she's doing great. Yeah, great with her own business. She's doing very well in her business, and of course all she have said, I can testify to it. I'm a very close friend. Yes, I'm close to her, so that's why I came to meet her, that because she's the perfect person for this. So yeah, she has something to say to you.
So finally, I would also say that no matter what you are going through, don't be academically lazy. And have friends in every sphere. I have prayerful friends that what they do is to call me, Dami, okay, let's pray. And I have friends that academically they can say, Dami, come, let me teach you this is it, this is that. Because I was busy with trying to fend for myself, sometimes I miss lectures because I sail around in school as well. Little things, but things that can sustain me. So, and one of the things I advise people to do, don't be ashamed, especially when you have lapses in one area.
Yeah, when you are in need.
When you are in need, don't be ashamed to reach out to someone. And no matter what you are going through, don't let it affect your grades. I can say it is good, but I can also say I was also serious. I know whatever I finish with, people don't want to hear your failure stories. It does not concern them. They just want to see what you have from that story, what you are able to get out of it. So as much as there were many lacks and needs, yet there is a place of me knowing that I must not finish as a failure. And I have friends who were willing to help me, to put me through some things. Specifically, I had a friend that when he's done with lectures and all, I'll go to meet him and he will teach me the way the lecturer taught them. It is those teachings and lectures that I will use to read and write my exams. We all have different capacities, the way we understand things, but understand yourself and be willing to appreciate what you have.
Manage what you have.
And no matter how much or how big, how small it is, learn to save for the raining days. Actually, don't eat with everything, and don't feel like you are the worst person. if you go out there and ask someone is either battling with health issues, even in the midst of abundance. Someone is battling, everybody, they are fighting their various battles. So and put God in it. God will direct your path. You cannot suffer when you have God. You may only be passing through tough times, but you cannot suffer ignorantly. Actually, you can't suffer ignorantly, but you will face challenges. Be ready that if you are sponsoring yourself, be ready it won't be easy. Be ready that you will be reproached. People will look down on you. Put away pride and just strive to become something. When you get the goal, when you get that, then you can now relax to start planning the next step. Even in your next step, ask God for direction and have quality friends. I'm putting an emphasis on quality friends. Friends, they may not be rich, but keep friends that are goal oriented, friends with visions, different friends in their different sphere. They'll be able to help you, they'll be able to guide you.
Wow, thank you so much for that advice. You all have listened to our advice, but I pick out one of them, which is said, no matter what you're going through, make sure that you're still working on your grades to get a good grades by reading. Yes, I remember that most time whenever I come to your office, you still read. Yeah, she still reads some books. So it's very, very important to work on yourself. Take your time. And as much as you're taking your time to make some money to work, still make sure that you take out time to read your books. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. And to everyone, thank you for listening, and we would like to receive your comments. Anything you want us to know or talk about, drop it at the comment section, and remember to subscribe. See you on the next episode. Bye.